Hello, this is Gregg Braden. Well, we made it. It's here at last. 2012 has arrived, the end of 2012, which means it's the beginning of a new year of 2013. And as we complete this really pivotal year, all the shifts and crises and changes that certainly we've all felt and experienced, I think it's clear that the role of community has become key to the way that we navigate the even bigger changes that seem to be coming our way in the near future. So I'd like to take this opportunity just to personally express my deepest gratitude to each of you, everyone listening, everyone watching, for all that you have done in the past and that you're doing right now to support our growing virtual community, our family, as well as all that you do to make the big community of our world an even better place. And I want to take this opportunity to let you know, and I want to be very clear about this, I have never been more optimistic about us, our world, our nation, our future, and what is emerging before our eyes right this moment. From the oral traditions of the ancient peoples throughout the world to the theme of the world's most cherished spiritual traditions, the significance of the year that we're completing, of this 2012, as a window of change. It's been no secret to our ancestors. They knew that this time of change was coming, and they knew because it always does. They understood the cyclic nature of Earth's shifting environment, and they also knew that our future would be determined less by the changes themselves. They weren't so concerned about the actual Earth changes. They were more concerned about us, how we treat one another as we go through those changes, whether we choose to fight one another or whether we work to help one another as we go through the changes and the shifts. Well, for very different reasons, the best minds of today agree as well. The scientists, the engineers, social architects, religious leaders, spiritual leaders throughout the world, they're warning us that the choices that we make right now will determine nothing less than the fate of our nations, the survival of civilization, and even the future of our species itself, the future of us. So I've been asked by so many people from so many places in the world to comment on the events of this year, this 2012, and where I think they're leading, what we can realistically expect over the next weeks and months of 2013. And rather than responding to hundreds of letters individually, I'd love just to answer some of those questions in an open letter to our community and to you right now. So I think the first question, what can we realistically expect? And I think what we can say with certainty is that the stage is certainly set for whatever is about to unfold. It's no secret that the world of the past no longer exists. It's gone. The conventional ways of thinking and living that we've grown accustomed to, the ways we've thought about our jobs, our careers, money, health, wealth, security, spirituality, religion, healing, and the role of America in the larger world, all of those things are falling away before our eyes faster, I think, even than those who knew the changes were coming could have expected. It's a fact. You and I are witnessing literally the greatest shift in power, wealth, resources, and thinking in recorded human history. And while the experts have their viewpoints regarding what is at the root of each specific crisis that we face and what went wrong with one thing or another, when we step back and we look at the big picture, the reason for so much change, for me, becomes very obvious. And it's simply because the world of the past is no longer sustainable. If we look closely, the only things that are breaking down, the only things falling apart, are the unsustainable ways of thinking and living that we've grown accustomed to in the past. So from our policies of energy and economics and technology to the way we think about security and how nations work together, the choices in the past are no longer working in today's world. And as we discover the limits of what those choices bring and experience the consequences of this huge learning curve that has led to this very moment, this last closing portal of 2012, my sense is that we've arrived at this magnificent turning point that has only one of two possible outcomes. We're either going to transform or we're going to collapse. One of those two things is happening. While ancient traditions and modern science underscore the magnitude of our time in history, they also remind us of a powerful fact. What they say is this: it is through the choices that you and I are making in this moment, that we're making today, that the outcomes will be determined. So, in other words, the outcome is not set into stone. So the question then becomes, how do we tip the scales of peace and cooperation and healing in our favor? Maybe more specifically, how do we create an environment that supports fair and sustainable economies, that shares the earth respectfully and compassionately with all life, that bridges the issues that tear at the very fabric of our lives and our families and our communities and our society? Well, the diverse body of work that I've developed over these last 25 years or so, it's my answer to these questions. The choices that we make in life can be nothing more and nothing less than a reflection of us. It's the way we think of ourselves and our relationship to our bodies, to our earth, to our past, to one another. My sense, again, is that when the facts of these relationships are clear, then the choices that we have before us become obvious. For those of you that know me personally, know that I am an optimist. And you also know me well enough to know that I'm a realist. I am optimistic about our future, while I realistically acknowledge that we're poised on the brink of what will either become some very bad choices that we make in this world or some very good decisions. So for me, knowing that choices even exist and that we're living this precious, powerful, pivotal time that gives our choices such great potency, for me that gives new meaning and a renewed hope to this 2012 year of emergence, 2013 that lies before us, and all that comes next. So what do I think is in store? Honestly, I really don't know. I don't have a proverbial crystal ball in front of me to answer the question or a hotline to the leaders of the world. I can't say what's going to happen. And I think probably the biggest reason is because we are still choosing. We are still choosing the outcome, whether we're conscious of our choices or not. The fact is that we're choosing in every moment of every day. And what I do know is that it will take every one of us and a diversity of our beliefs and our ideas and the love for life that we each bring to our global community. It's going to take all of that to birth the world of our greatest destiny, rather than succumb to the darkness of our greatest fears. So for those that can embrace the learning curve of our past without judging our past, the future becomes a wide open field for new forms of industry, new jobs that we've never even thought of before, new forms of expression, and new communities based upon sustainable ways of thinking, living, and being in our world. And for those that cling to the old and unsustainable ways of the past, by clinging to those, 2012 may, in fact, look like the fulfillment of history's darkest prophecies, the worst that we could imagine, if we hang on to those old ideas and those old beliefs. My sense is that one of the most powerful keys to our experience of the months and years ahead comes from a shift in thinking, from the old thinking that invites us beyond asking the question, what can I get from the world that exists? That's the old way of thinking. The new question then becomes, what can I give to the world that's emerging? What can I offer to this new world that's being birthed before me? The way that each of us answers this question as individuals becomes our collective answer to what comes next, and that is what the crystal ball cannot show. So I'm going to say personally, I've never felt better about the future and the possibilities that lie before all of us. And now it's up to us. We've already made the choices of peace and cooperation in our hearts. We've already voiced that we want to see them in our world. Now, it's time for us to live those choices in every moment of every day. So I look forward to working with you as we do together throughout this new year of 2013 and beyond. I want to take this opportunity to thank every one of you for all that you've done to bring us to the point where we are right now. The choices that we've made, we have to say they worked because we're here. We made it. And now we get to choose once again the world before us. So in deepest, deepest gratitude and with so much love, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to you all. Happy 2013 and beyond.